I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, TTC Chairperson Brock Gibson.
Here.
TTC Vice Chairperson Amanda Schwinn.
Here.
TTC Member Roseanne Ani.
Here.
TTC Member Rebecca Monia.
Here.
Board Liaison Joe Steiger.
Here.
Chamber of Commerce Representative Dina Kreitler.
Here.
St. Genevieve County Representative Corey Ford.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Full house.
Cool.
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright. Previous meeting minutes.
I think that looks pretty good. Move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Financials.
If you look at our expenditures, we've got for the month of April, we've got one from Lamar, that's the billboard out on Y, one from CPM, they're the ones that put our rack cards and brochures out on the I-70 corridor, I-44 corridor. We have our yearly expenditure from Visit Widget, that's just a one-time thing every year. $750 from Jay Rudney, they run our website. This was for ADA compliance. So they got with a company that basically does an audit of all of our websites and helps it, uses an AI platform to help install stuff that makes us ADA compliant. There's supposedly a group of lawyers all around that'll check whether your website's ADA compliant, and if not, they'll throw a lawsuit at you and you'll have to settle out of court, so we didn't want that to happen. And then Main Street signs, if you saw, we got the billboard out at MLC, and that is either the first installment or second installment of that, so it was $4,800 for that to go up, and that's part of our matching grant with the state. As far as collections, we collected $3,738, which, again, hard to quantify, but it looks like we are ahead of schedule.
Karen? Any questions? Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Public comments? All right, business.
Looks like we don't have a lot of folks in here, so we'll maybe table the merchant operating days and hours, or maybe we'll just throw that off the agenda.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What is like the subject of being like having a standard or something?
Yeah, I think that was the big thing is, you know, how do we communicate? You know, I think the big thing is, and maybe not the big thing, but one of the things that maybe we haven't done is tried to coordinate this, you know what I mean? And because inevitably when you go out and talk to merchants, this is one of the things that's like a big sticking point. Oh, well, this person's not open. They don't call out one single person, but they feel like they're the only business that's open on a Monday or the only business that's open on a Tuesday or something like that. So, you know, and I had brought some data from Placer AI showing that Monday is our slowest day, but also Monday is a good holdover day for the tourists that stay through the weekend. So we have older tourists that will stay through till Monday, so, you know,
I think Sunday is the sticking point, right? So, I mean, anecdotally, I hear it all the time, that there's nothing open on Sundays. It's pretty sleepy, quiet downtown on most Sundays, right? So, now, is there data to prove that? I don't know. But when I drive around and when I talk to tourists and people and local residents, if they're trying to get, you know, that Sunday is kind of, to me, it's the day that's probably the one that needs to be discussed the most. And it's the toughest, right? If you're a business owner, you know, it's the toughest one probably to be open. I mean, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and I think it's Sunday. And if we're going to try to put incentives for people to be open on Sundays, or disincentives for, you know, I don't know, but I think that's what we're trying to address is Sunday business hours for a lot of the merchants.
It's also Saturday. It's the weekends for sure.
Yeah, you see some.
I get a lot of people asking on Saturday afternoons.
Yeah, till 4 or 5 would be that'd be another one. You're probably right.
Things are closed on Saturday afternoon?
I hear it all the time. People ask.
interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, well, you know, I thought we were trying to gather data on,
Yeah, I just
You
feel
know,
like we can't
Mondays.
have a real true conversation unless more merchants actually show up.
sure, but I wonder if there's any way to, you know, kind of like so I sent that email out talking about the bus tours that are going to be happening, and, you know, when those run. Some of them, the ones that Charlottesville has are kind of more like midweek and then Sundays, which is good, because it provides a little bit more action Sunday, but maybe just reaching out to merchants and showing the data for Saturdays and Sundays from Placer AI or something like that, and what else can we do to maybe get that push? We're trying to become a weekend destination. We need your help to be open Saturday and Sunday, you know?
I will say that our Sundays in the beer garden have gotten a lot busier than I mean, it's trending busier and busier. This last weekend, it was full all Sunday afternoon.
The Sundays show like they're one of our very busiest days in general. I looked
Really?
back at the data from all last year, and Sunday says that was our busiest day in general.
Really?
Yeah.
We've had some slow Sundays here recently, but usually Sunday is a pretty good
Yeah.
day for us. Yeah.
Yes.
We did a survey on the hours to the merchants by chance.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, that might be an easier way to collect some data
Yeah.
too, without having to schedule meetings with all of them, but.
Maybe just something that says, what are your current hours? Like to get that information, and then
Yeah.
also, would you be, what would you be open to this, you know? Like,
Or what do you see as your busiest day, and what it, you know,
yeah,
It-
or are you?
yeah, and even like if you're not open, you know, for what reason, you know?
Or
Because,
give them an
weekend.
option too and say if you had to be closed one day a week, what day would it be?
yeah.
I don't know. Because the consensus might already be there, we just don't know it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, right, is just figure out what it is, what's holding us back on the weekends.
I don't think we're going to get businesses to come here specifically to
Yeah.
tell us what hours.
No, I don't think
So, and I don't know if the survey is going to be that helpful, maybe to pick another day that they might want us to not schedule things on. I think, do we want to try to incentivize Saturday and Sunday hours? That's my question. Is that what we're trying to do? Because it seems like that's what now, I also don't want to be the almighty big bad person that says, you know, we need to have you open Saturday and Sunday, you know, but at the same time, when we're marketing and spending dollars for this, it's a catch-22. You're spending money for it, but then the stores aren't open, and so you're not getting the full benefits of the money that we're spending.
I wonder, it probably would be interesting to hear why, because I think, you know, because this is a subject that you could almost just turn into an educational thing, right? That we have Placer AI data that shows the busiest times are these times. So if if you're open these days, this is when you would likely generate the most revenue for your business. Now, the thing is, Sunday is one of those days that it may not be revenue related. It might be church related that they're not open, you know. So knowing why they're not open, I think is going to be probably pretty important, just, you know, as far as, because we can always educate them. I think the place where I data is going to be really valuable because you can show them the days that they would be, and the times almost too, right? That they would be, or historically have been the busiest, and, you know, go in that direction. But Mondays are definitely the slowest days.
Was
in my
the Placer
opinion.
AI data for strictly just for the downtown area?
Yeah, that's what's, we call geofenced. And, I mean, you know, I've sent it out, but is it kind of illegible to anybody who's not in the know, you know? I deal with it, so I'm
How's
not,
that?
the Placer AI data. Like, if you're just a layperson, you open it up, is it like, whoa, what's going on here?
Unless they dig into it, it may seem overwhelming.
I think if you explain it, if you just maybe do a bullet
Isolate
list
some
with.
things.
I mean, a
Like
few of
a
us can even
layman's
go
term.
into our POS system and like take a snapshot of our weekly, not show
Sure,
sales, but the
sure.
weekly trend,
Yeah.
like it'll show like Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah, that's what
Friday.
I can
What do you
do,
use? I
and
use Square.
Tuesdays and
Use Square.
Wednesdays are our
Yeah.
slowest.
Yeah.
Mondays are actually good for us.
Yeah, Mondays
So-
are actually,
Same, we are very good on that.
Tuesday and Wednesday
Yeah, Tuesday.
historically are slow for
I
us.
agree.
When we did stay closed for a little while after COVID, those are the 2 days that we stayed closed, and we ended up opening back up because we always had people knocking on the door. So if we would have to choose a day to close, I honestly don't know what day we'd choose.
Yeah, and funny enough, what the Welcome Center, anecdotally, I've heard Tuesdays are like,
There's a day.
kind of like gangbusters. Yeah, like, it's like the day during the week where we get the most visitors at the Welcome Center. So,
Is Kimswick's day, Kimswick has, is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think it's
Wednesday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe.
I thought it was Wednesday.
It's not Monday.
Yeah, it's not Monday, I know that.
well, and our week is a
The
kind of a
visitor center is
perfect,
closed Monday.
At Kinswood.
on Kingswick. It's interesting, because we're a perfect kind of like curve. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Blue Owl is
Saturday.
also
We kinda
closed on Monday.
go back down on
Yeah.
Sunday a little bit, but yeah, Monday's our slowest day, which is interesting.
Yeah, and each one of those days are going to have a different group of people. You know, it's a little different, you know, for where they would even be going. That's why I'm, you know,
Yeah.
it might be busy at the Welcome Center because people that are coming in for like weekday
Our tour, our
tours, yeah.
tour guides.
Yeah,
or
tours
like
and
the
stuff.
museum has schools coming on
Yeah.
Tuesdays or whatever.
And then most of the
Yeah,
people
right.
coming on the weekends are,
Sunday. It says.
Why don't you just
Yeah.
get together the survey, issue a recommendation from TTC? These are the hours and days we suggest. You don't have to do it. Maybe there's an incentive that comes down the road, but at least you
Yeah.
can gear any events you plan towards those days.
yeah, based on the Placer I did.
Maybe for the next meeting, we can have, like, you, whoever uses a POS system, just print out your weekly
Yeah,
trends.
yeah, I can do that.
That sounds good. And you know, I think it's a no-brainer to send out, hey, Saturdays and Sundays are picking up big time. I think with the Placer AI data, I can show historically how Saturdays have, you know, our capacity on Saturdays has grown year over year. You know, so we're getting more people in town per Saturday than we ever have, kind of since 2019 at least. So that kind of data is helpful as well. But yeah, we need to cherry pick it and package it in a way that kind of shows. Yeah.
Can you get from the visitor center, to Brock's point earlier about the types of people that are coming? Yeah,
talk to
especially
MPS about that.
midweek, right? Like Tuesday, Wednesday, I mean, who are we talking about that's coming?
Yeah, because if it's a school, I mean, are you really
Yeah.
gonna get a bunch? Like, we get no school traffic from the museum tours they do. Because they're literally here for that and then leave.
Yeah,
You know
and
what's-
and even like, if they do come to us, they're not allowed to
Yes.
even go into the gift shop,
Yeah.
which, that doesn't help, because,
No.
you know, that's where you're hoping, you charge so little for the students, and then they're not allowed to shop. So they come, they do their tour wherever it is, they eat in Lions Park, so they're not even going to the restaurants,
Yeah.
and then they're out of here.
Yeah.
So they're not really,
Well,
Not
somebody,
paying the bills.
I'm not gonna say they're not helping us, because they are, but it's the older bus groups that we want that can spend money and are gonna go to a
And
restaurant.
we'll walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
well, I did have somebody just recently tell me this, but I thought was very interesting. It ties into what you're talking about, that when the schools come in, they're looking for somewhere where they can let the kids go contained, and there's nothing downtown.
No, they go to Braden's, they go to the.
Yeah, they go to
community
a
center.
park, yeah, or the community center, yeah.
That's where they
That's right,
usually
and then once they leave there, they go. So there's not really a safe, comfortable place for a school bus of kids to go in downtown St. John that they can just stay there, and the teachers know that, like a McDonald's play place. I'm not suggesting, I'm just saying that that's a contained space. So there's no contained space downtown that they're comfortable taking the kids to. I don't remember who I was
A
talking to.
lot of them eat in Lions Park before they leave.
Yeah.
A lot of them do, because that's right across from us, and you hear the yelling and screaming for at least an hour. And then they load up and they're gone, so.
And most of those groups that would come to our place, they call me ahead of time and say, hey, we have a group, can we come?
Yeah.
And, or send us an order, so I know when most of those people are coming, the kids, if they come.
If you have suggestions for Lions Club Park, let me know that we can make it more because to keep those groups in town,
Yeah.
I don't know if you, like I said, as far as spending money, I don't, the school groups are probably not gonna be big revenue sources for that, but,
No.
but once they go and leave and they go out to the community center, they're not coming back, so. if
And
there's
Lions Club
something-
Park is a good option. For
Yeah,
them.
if we could do something.
And they actually do, the adults will shut the gates, because there's gates by that walkway.
Yeah.
They
Oh, there you
will
go.
close them, so the kids don't go out, so they are using the park.
But we don't have public restrooms down there, so that makes it a little hard for them, so it's not open to.
It's not that far from the Welcome Center though, because they will come across the street and ask to use the restrooms, and we send them to the Welcome Center, so then they start going down there. So it's not awful.
No.
But even though they don't spend very much money, some parents are there, the teachers are there. Even just knowing that my child is going to this town for a school field trip, that piques my interest. It's probably piquing the interest of parents and stuff. So I think they're still valuable groups, that put a good word out for what we're doing. But
Well, and a lot of the larger schools don't let parents go on the field trip. So you're getting like 2 adults per 30 students almost.
One of your other topics is the trolley, and that's, again, probably talking about weekend trolley, and it's trying to increase that. So, again, I don't want to shy away from this topic. It's important that we have our businesses stay open Saturday and Sunday. We're talking about spending more money for potentially this trolley service. So I don't know what we can, and I don't want to club somebody to stay open on Saturday. It's their option, it's their business, it's a private business, right? But we're spending a lot of money trying to support them and keep them operating. So what are some things that we can do to make, Saturday and Sunday good days as we invest a lot of money in marketing downtown for those 2 days?
And Dina, we talked one time, I asked you about at the chamber having, if there was some kind of a grant or something that's offered to small businesses in small towns to help, with offsetting some of the loss for hiring people, because a lot of the shops downtown, it's the owners are managing it. So, for them to be open as much as we would like for them to be open, they would have to be working all of that time. So having some kind of a opportunity through some kind of a grant or some program that they could get, staffing support, I think that would be beneficial, because I think that's probably going to ultimately be what the pushback is, that people run their own business and if they hire somebody, that's automatically at that point a loss, until the business gets going enough that they can, it's no longer a loss.
And it's that chicken and egg. It's like,
It is, yeah.
if you don't stay open, then
Yeah.
we're not going to get the sales, and if you
Right.
stay close, so it's
Yeah,
it's a tough call.
It is tough.
I know, Aaron, you had talked about that, if there was some way that you could have a floating person that could help, staff certain businesses. You talk about that gig economy where you find part-time jobs where you can, I don't know if that's a big endeavor to try to find, part-time help, especially grant money to get somebody paid to operate private. I mean, I don't know if that something like that exists. I mean,
Well, right now, it's even getting the people that want those part-time jobs, because we're looking for a weekend person. We have been for a while, and there's nobody out there that's interested.
to fill some part-time
Yeah.
shifts, yeah.
Because people are looking for more full-time work or for good?
I guess either more hours or, they just don't want to work on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of interesting, right? To kind of take what businesses need help when and kind of package like a whole, a whole bunch of hours working at different places, I think about that a good bit.
That's the hard part too, is that I deal with this all the time, that staffing on the weekends, it's far more needed, but, like Audubon's is a great example, being open for lunch, I have to staff that whole thing every day for lunch, and if we take lunch out, I can't have, I need people that can work just Friday and Saturday, only Friday and Saturday. I can't have them the rest of the week, so then I have to overhire and have people working during the week that I really wouldn't even have them on, but I can't, they can't work for just 2 days a week.
That's our exact problem.
Yeah, that's a tough one, that is a really tough one. People want hours, they just don't want to be the weekend warriors, so that's tough. Tough gig.
Okay. I think we got some.
But a survey to the merchants, I think, is a good first step. And maybe we can all come up with some questions and what that survey should look like.
Well, do you think the survey would be better, or do we need to just say, we're going to target Saturday and Sunday? Let's maybe look into, the Missouri Main Street organization here just got a good kind of information packet on things like that. It's pretty vast. I haven't had a chance to chew through it. But one of the things that they talk about is incentivizing businesses for certain things. There might be some ideas in that packet, or just trying to think about how we can incentivize that Saturdays and Sundays, and getting the data packaged. Would we rather start with the survey, or would we rather start with getting businesses to stay open on Saturdays and Sundays?
I think we should do a survey.
I think so too, because that way we could maybe get some of the answers as to why.
Yeah.
And you can open it with a paragraph. It just says, hey, our goal here is
Yes.
probably to increase Saturday and Sunday. Just so you know, we're not trying to kid you. That we're trying to increase hours on Saturday and Sunday. But we also want your input on, how we go about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's good.
I would keep it less than 10 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 is ideal.
Okay.
All right, we can move on to your report.
Sure, tourism direct report. Like I was talking about, Missouri Main Street, they're called Prosperity St. Gen. That's the Main Street chapter for St. Genevieve. Through a grant through the Missouri Main Street program, some architects from Muldrow and Associates came out from South Carolina. Architect and a marketing sort of guru came out, met with 3 different property owners. You can see on the very last page some of the renderings they did for the town. You have the Bovary building, you have Goose's gas station, and then what some crosswalks would look like, some paved crosswalks. So these are some good aspirational things for the city to do. I really like what they did with the Bovary building. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel or do something where somebody would have to put $200,000+ into that building, but just something that is easily doable. Yeah, feasible.
Aaron, did they render 3 separate buildings, or are we looking at the French Bakery Rivertown?
They did the. I didn't include the other one. They did the.
Funeral.
What is that? Yeah,
Lutheran Church, the old
funeral home across from the Lutheran
Stantonwood
Church.
funeral home. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very radical. Again, it was very modest and within something.
Because they didn't
that
really know what they wanted to do with it, so they just kind of cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah, added some landscaping and things like
What's
that.
that?
It's owned by the Lutheran Church.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
What is
But
it?
they're supposed to be putting a daycare in it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
The Stanton Wood right across the street from Harrod's Famous Bee.
They said that when they talked to the owners, they weren't really sure what they were gonna, that's what they said at least, when they talked to them.
Originally, the concept
Yeah.
was supposed to be a daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they.
But
Yeah.
I know that the
Yeah.
building needs a lot of work on the inside.
Aaron, is this Rivertown Mercantile and French Bakery, is that actually an idea of what someone has? It's just,
No, I think what this was for, so it was can we
What could it be?
pick a couple of people that have the kind of preliminary vision for it, but that Bovary building is kind of for me, kind of the center, one of the centerpieces of town, and the church is thinking about selling it. So could we have something that we could package up for a prospective buyer that goes, hey, this is what it could look like, you know? And I think a lot of people are very visual when it comes to that. So we thought it was a good idea too.
Okay.
I love the colors they added. Like they really complemented, they added colors to the St. John logo and they did a great job with that. These color adds are really
Yeah,
great.
for sure. Yeah, and so,
Right where these were added, right? These were not there before that.
yeah, absolutely. So I think with their 36 hours that they were here, they put together a really nice sort of economic development plan, some new branding for Prosperity St. John to move forward with, and some good economic data. I mean, they had some really, if you didn't go to the presentation, it was really inspiring to see. But, you know, some of the
Downtown area like this, the Main Street Park is just kind of a tie-in, kind of a sub-district.
The first thing they said when they started that meeting was, why haven't we heard about you guys? Because they said this place is lovely. He said, I mean, they were like, and then he said, why are we here? Because they were really complimentary about this place. I mean, the towns they go to typically probably are a little more run down and like really like in the bottom, you know, of what they're trying to accomplish. And
they're really trying to
coming in here,
revitalize.
they were like, wow, this is like, you know, what an opportunity we have. That our baseline is like already, you know, elevated.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and I think just kind of, you know, we need some ideas to get us over the hump. But some of the economic data was really encouraging as well. We have a great employer mix. We actually grow by 600 people every day. You know, people coming into work as to where people are leaving for work and commuting.
Daily, we have a 600 change.
Yeah, not growing by, yeah, sorry, yeah, again, the jargon gets to my brain. And
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
net up 600 people every day.
every day, yeah, exactly. So people coming into work, we actually grow by 600 people as opposed to people commuting out of the community, which I think is incredible. And we don't have like a single employer that's like really carrying the load. So, I mean, we have a lot of stability. But, you know, they're trying to at least give us the tools to help us
Is that downtown?
grow.
Do you know if that data was for downtown or is that St. Genevieve's?
No way it's downtown.
Can't be downtown. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it
I'll
could-
say,
Where they be?
I need to,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Where would they
It's
work?
probably city limits.
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Oh, that's what he said. He did.
Yeah.
It was city limits. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he said it's interesting too because a lot of towns can be approached from all different sides. Our entire east side is blocked up by a river, so it's you know, we even have that disadvantage, and we're still looking pretty good. So some good data in there. There's definitely some. I don't know. We have a good baseline to work with. Update on the wayfinding signs. So as you saw, the billboard at Mississippi Lime is up. The first round of designs for the street signs in town, so we're replacing all the signs that say ferry, welcome center, things like that have been submitted. Replacing also the big sort of welcome to downtown signs that are at 61 in Market and 61 in St. Mary's will be replaced. And then also the one out by Charlottesville that says downtown to the right here. And those have all been kind of like, you know, they're all under one brand and look very similar. And then we've added pendant signs, so these little round signs that will help lead people, walk people to the high school and the ferry and things like that. And that was part of the RTCA document. So the city got a grant through the National Park System to have a sort of walkability feasibility study done. That's how we got the sidewalk on St. Mary's Road through that plan, but they suggested putting these pendant signs up that lead to different things. So we have those as well in that plan. And then I submitted that, and then Main Street comes in and gives us 2 more colors and some extra things. So we're kind of not going completely back to the drawing board, but reassessing that. Massaging, that's a great word, exactly. Yeah, figuring out how to take those existing things that we produced and you know, add the new color palette, because I think it brightens up and the town, and we can use it for different things, you know, 3 colors for historic, district arts, outdoor recreation. These kind of let us categorize those different things that we want to set apart in the town. So we're working on that. Final reporting is due on that August 29th at midnight, so we've got a little bit of time, but yeah, just know I'm pushing forward on that. And before we go to print on those signs, I'll bring everything to the board so you guys can get a look at it. And that's what I've got there.
Aaron, were these the like suggestions that came from the group that
Yeah,
came
so
to town, or?
I told them that we were putting in banner signs.
Okay.
And so our banner poles.
Yeah.
And he came up with those banners just as like something that we can hang on off times. What I'm hoping to do is put them in places in front of the Museum Learning Center, in front of the National Park, in front of the state park, so that they can hang their own banners. But if they don't have anything going, these are some really things. And then they really loved the Little Bohemia thing and kind of came up with a little branding for them as well. So hopefully they'll like that. I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, your business?
Bacon board seat. Talk with Kara. I don't think she's going to be able to make it work. Do we have any other nominations or anybody that we think? And if you do, I guess you can email them to me. We don't have to discuss about that right now, but
Is there a specific type of or individual that we're looking for to fill the seat?
I think we're at general business.
Tourism.
Business.
I did hear Brock mention that Chateau St. Genevieve and Nico would be really good.
Oh, Nick, okay.
Yeah, no,
Huh.
and I know they were building a house here, so I think, yeah.
I would think it would be a good move to find somebody in the county.
Yeah. It would be good. Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out about that. Trolley service. I brought Sam in. Wanted to kind of get started as before we start collecting on the transient tax, talking about different things that we could do to spread people out from or create a connection, some transportation between the downtown and our county assets. Mostly because I've heard that it's kind of a frustration point for people when they get down here. They'd like to visit the wineries, but it'd be nice if they could get out there and have a good time and then not have to worry about driving back and things like that. So, and I think it would just be a nice little touch seeing those trolleys kind of coming in and out of downtown and provide some life and maybe provide some juice to get people to be open on Saturdays as well. So, so I brought Sam in. Sam, do you have any idea what it would take to run a trolley,
So I talked to Ryan, I don't know, probably about a month or two ago, I guess. I kind of went over some different ideas with him, and he was basically talking about 3 loops, I guess, throughout the day, starting, I don't know, like 10 in the morning and ending like at 6 or 7 in the evening time. And I guess the route, you got to kind of go over the basis of the route and everything, but the general cost, I guess, with hourly pay and, the gas now and, how many riders, I guess, would be on, because it's going to be kind of a numbers, like, guessing game at first, I guess, because it's going to be like a trial and error. You don't know how many people are going to jump on and use it when it first starts. It's probably going to take a couple of weekends to catch on, maybe. So, I mean, the numbers per se for one vehicle, having a driver, 8-hour shift with gas, if you have 25 seats, $25 per person, that's like around $600 or something. So it'd probably be around $900 or something to have it running all day long, nonstop.
Okay. You think we could make it work for that amount?
Yeah, because basically the town would cover the seats, right? For the people, they would just jump on and it'd be free service.
Well, I think we had talked about that being like a paid thing still.
So I figured, because some of that pricing was like the cost for the town, I guess, because I just figured $25 a person, 25 seats, it's like $600, something like that, $575. So some of that cost is in that $900. So I didn't know how, if it was gonna be like a step-on, step-off service, or how you guys were thinking.
I would think as a consumer, if I was here visiting, I think I would just think like a $5 ride would be, you know, you get on for $5 and maybe the city somehow covers the difference in that, you know, something like that.
So get on, get off all day long? Or
Just each ride,
get
every
on,
time you get
off?
on, every time you get
Right.
on, $5 when you get on. Yeah.
Because then you would have to come up with some, because sometimes the way it looks on paper isn't exactly how it works in real life. Basically, I've kind of learned as a whole process of this. So sometimes even though it looks really simple on paper, whenever you get out there and drive the course and you have people, you know, not getting on at a certain time or things happen, sometimes you gotta adjust with the flow, just probably like any other business. So I don't know if you guys want to have like some kind of information like at these stops, like, hey, this is a trolley stop and pickup, so that way the guests aren't scattered everywhere and they can be at this certain location and kind of say, hey, the trolley should be here in about 15 minutes or so. Because if you're sitting waiting and trying to search for people, it's going to become.
Yeah, I think you have to have like the 3 times they, like on the sign, say trolley pickup this time, this time, this time.
So that goes back to saying it's going to be a big process at the beginning, because you're going to have to figure out, because trolleys don't travel near as fast or like a car does. So you're going to have to see, kind of, it's going to kind of be shifted as we go, and probably 3 or 4 trips, weekends into it or Saturdays, it's going to run more smoothly. But having certain places where, hey, this is where the trolley's going to pick up and drop off about this time, gives people an idea, you know, be here or else it's going to be like not another hour, hour and a half before it comes back.
Yeah.
So who's going to be ultimately responsible for deciding what the stops are?
And that's what I was just thinking. How do you choose which winery they're gonna go to and how do you?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the complicated thing.
I don't know.
Because you probably, I mean, you want, Brock wants, you know, it'd be beneficial to have one by Sarah's and Audubon's, a pickup, drop off there. You know, people are, it could become like a mess, but I mean, if people network and make it smooth, it's just gonna be a learning process.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with a good route, like maybe the community center, of course, would probably be one, I would think, and then Main and Merchant, I think, makes sense. And but you know, so how far out are we thinking about this? Like, are
right
just to the wineries, or are we going to go north in the county, or just west and southwest?
Right. I mean, because yeah, you've got that whole loop. You know, Charlottesville's kind of on its own there, but
Actually, you know, if you have like Chateau and BG Farms, that area with Dewdrop, and I mean, there's a nice little route there too.
Well, that would, yeah. I mean, we'd have to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you go all
that's a
the
tough
way
one.
far out to Terrace and then,
Right.
I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the not the downfall, but that's, when I first started this, like 10 years ago, the geographic and the layout, you know, I started with one trolley and I was shuffling like 50 people on this one trolley, and kind of like, I became friends with the Herman trolley people, the brothers that ran it, but the radius is so small.
Yeah, all the other times
It
I'm
worked
thinking about are
so easy for them.
Yeah.
Because everything was in a 10-mile radius.
Yeah, if somebody wants to go to Terrace, they'd have to go through these other stops. It could be, you know, an hour ride.
So I learned to make it work for St. John, the best way to do it is have a trolley designated for these groups to take them through, at the time, 4 or 5 different wineries throughout the day, and then bring them in, because then you didn't have people scattered everywhere and you didn't have a big cluster. So the only way that it really worked good in St. John to do it is to have a designated vehicle with the group the whole time. So, but I think what you guys are getting at is a good thing. Definitely it would be really cool to have a trolley come in and out of town.
Logistics are going to be tough.
Yeah, and you can make it work. but it's gonna have to take a test run, and you're gonna, because from town to probably, Chalmette, I think it's like 22 miles. With the B road, it took, I don't know, it could take about 40 minutes one way.
Have you thought about having a trolley drop off people at, like, I'm just gonna pick a spot, southbound? And then from there, and this is just more to think about, but then a trolley out there could take them where they wanted to go. And
So you
that-
have two separate vehicles working two separate areas.
And then that trolley would come back to town, hit the 3 spots.
But then that way you would, like, then you go back to what Brock was talking about on a totally different subject. You haven't defined, you gotta pay another driver, the time, which is fine, but then the cost is gonna change a little bit.
Well, would the Charlevilles and wineries, you know, if they want to be on a stop, maybe they pitch in $150 or whatever that is. Just a thought.
What if you alternated the wineries like on the weekends? Like the first weekend of the month, they're gonna go this way, the next weekend, they're gonna go that way, and the next weekend, they're gonna go that way. I mean, you're still gonna get to go to a
Like red route, a
winery.
green route, and a yellow route. We already thought
Something
that
like
before.
that.
I mean, I could, but you gotta get to catch, so then you gotta get that caught on with the groups and the people, and people have to realize what day they wanna come down, and what route they're going on.
Said otherwise, because they wanted to go to this place versus that place.
Yeah.
It's a big animal.
Sounds like we need to take a test run.
Well, I mean,
Now we're talking.
I'm totally up with that, because I think it's definitely gonna have to take a test run
Yeah.
to figure out, and then you gotta figure out who wants to be involved. And some, you know, if they wanna pitch in a little bit to help.
I was gonna say, it
cost.
almost has to be that, it almost has to be that there's some kind of a, you know, service fee to that. And not to even collect the money, but just to be able to choose, you know, where are we going, right?
Yeah.
Because making that choice, that's not easy.
No.
'Cause you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. you know.
Yeah, so that's another thing is like we had to figure out when I first started is you can't let the riders really pick and choose. You pretty much say, hey, you know, we're going to Cave, we're gonna spend an hour and 15 minutes or whatever at Cave, and then we're gonna go to Chalmette, and then after Chalmette, we're gonna go to Crown Brewery, and we're gonna go to Twin Oaks. Because honestly, coming back on 32 at the end of the day is a lot safer than coming back B Road whenever you're dealing with people that have been drinking all day, because it's pretty much a straight shot. So we would always end our day around Twin Oaks and Sand Creek, go through Sand Creek, jump on Highway 32 and take a straight shot into town, because by that time, people are toasted, and you just want to get them back.
You don't want to go on the curvy road?
No, and that was a learning thing, so
Yeah.
it was just all learning.
Wow. Well, let's just, I think we should, somebody, you know, a couple people should get together and talk about what those those stopping locations would be.
Sam, have you had an idea of how you would want to structure it?
I mean,
Because you do this, you know,
Yeah.
this is your business, you do it. So, I mean, if you have a suggestion or a recommendation for the board to consider,
yeah, I mean, I could come up with a plan and pitch it to you guys and see what you think. Because, I mean, I was kind of dealing with something else earlier today, but that's a good idea. I could figure out, you know, maybe something that, you know, could possibly work and satisfy a lot, 75–80% of the majority of the people.
I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
And then, because I kind of know like the time, just off the top of my head from driving it so much and the routes and the easiest way to do it, especially at the end of the day. And I mean, even Cave or even the Weingarten Winery, those people are, the family is really nice and people enjoy going out there. But the hardest part of doing this is you have so many on one side of the county and then you have the Terrace and French Village or whatever on Y Road, and it's hard to connect those two.
Line 32, yeah.
So majority of the time, back in the day, we always would just go left instead of right, I guess you'd say.
Maybe then two at the same time those would be the two routes, one's going 32 and one's going Y Road.
Yeah. You could have one running that,
Yeah.
and then one running the other one, and for like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 Saturdays, and see kind of what one's doing the most
Yeah.
traffic, I guess.
Cool. Yeah.
I think you should come back with and give us some recommendations that you feel
Yeah.
would work, and then let us choose from
Because
there.
I can brainstorm with Mary too, and 'cause she handles all the booking and scheduling now.
Yeah.
So she probably has some good ideas, kind of what she's seen work and what hasn't. So we could talk about it and, I don't know, next meeting or whatever you guys want to do.
Sounds good. I'll stay in touch with you and we'll
So
we'll do
is the
that.
goal to get, and it could be both, is the goal to get people visiting town out to the wineries, or people visiting the wineries to not skip town and come to town? So what, is the goal both? I mean, what are we trying to do?
Well, I think part of it is incentivizing the people to be in town to start that tour,
Basically, we're not, what I've always, and I'm gonna hate to interrupt, but, because I had this question when I first started with like a news person or whatever. My main goal was to connect the two, not fight against each other,
Right,
to make a connection like a chain. Because if you don't know these roads and you don't know, like if you're out drinking and you don't have to worry about that. And a lady, I'll never forget it, she's an older lady, she's like, you realize how many lives you save or how many lives you're saving? And I was like, actually, I don't even think about that, to be honest with you. I just, want people to enjoy it and have a safe and fun time. But my goal was to always connect downtown, or St. John, the town, and what's out there, work it together, not really against each other.
right.
Well, do you think that more people come in, start with you in town because they're trying to get out to the wineries?
So it's crazy because a lot of people call the trolley first. They don't even know where to stay. They don't even know what to do. Like they just hear that, oh, you guys have a trolley. I want to come and, enjoy it. And I got, bachelor party or a birthday party or a friends group or just whatever. So a lot of times Mary plays like a
tour guide.
yes, and says, this is where you places are, stay downtown, or, what are you looking to do? So it's crazy how many people reach out and ask us what to do.
I can kind of attest to the same thing. When we get people that call the chamber and they want to come to the area, I'm coming into town for a birthday party or something, a weekend, but I hear you have a trolley, where does it take me? Where can it take me? And the good question is, well, where are you wanting to go?
Yeah.
So again, we get that a lot of times too, because people just want to come and park and they just want to jump on something else, a trolley, and have them do all the driving.
So and that's kind of like whenever my dad lived in Nebraska, like this is how it all came as an idea, I guess, because I went with a girlfriend of mine at the time. We'd stop in Herman and then made a weekend trip and then went up to Nebraska to stay with my dad. And one time we took the trolley and one time we didn't. And the time that we didn't wasn't near as relaxing or fun as just jumping on something and kind of not having to worry about the day and trying to just going along with it. So that's kind of how this all kind of started.
Well, the reason I asked that was because if they get on the trolley in town in the morning and then they go out and do all the wineries and they're gone for 5, 6 hours, or I don't know how long it's going to take, and you talk about them being trashed by the time you're bringing them home. So now you're going to bring them to town and they're going to go hang out at his beer garden and they're already gone. And, so do we want them to come back to town? I'm just trying to figure out now if they're staying in town and we don't want them driving around, if that's our goal, that's fine. But
Yeah.
if it's
Well-
just to get them from town out to the wineries, then,
I think a lot of people, what I've heard is a lot of people, their experience of St. John, if I'm in St. Louis or Cape or something like that, I hear they come out to go to the wineries. They come to St. John to go to the wineries.
No, yeah, I hear you.
So, and like their only experience of St. John, oh, I've been to St. John, I've gone to Chalmette, or I've gone to, can we get those people to start in St. John, be able to stay overnight and then experience, get exposure to the downtown in a different way. So that would be my thinking.
I also think the hope is you're bringing them in on a Friday, so they're going to be here hopefully through Monday. Saturday they do wineries, Sunday they do downtown St. John, so they have transportation both days. I mean, ideally you want them to encompass everything as a whole, downtown and the county, because we do have way more to offer as a collective group.
Right.
So when I travel, like me and my husband travel, we always look for a trolley. Any place we go, we look for a trolley or a shuttle service for the town. Where are we going? Outside the perimeter? Probably so, but we're also coming back in and we're gonna go to that restaurant or a beer garden or whatever it is that is in that town. So that's that's the ideal, right? We're trying to encompass them for more than just one day.
So would it be better to have like an AM and a PM? I know they're only open so late, but where people can come to town, they can get on the trolley at 11, and hopefully they're shopping between 9 and 11. They're going, you're bringing them back, and visiting museums. And then another one that picks them up at 8. I don't know what time they...
Well, we'd be flexible if it really worked, but so I follow different trolley services all over the United States, and there's one called Door County. I think it's up in like
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
So I follow them on Instagram and everything, and they have a crazy service. I think the town or county owns the service or something. They got like a trolley depot, but they have like different themes. Like they have tourist, like downtown tourist theme, or like just a sightseeing theme. And I mean, you think of it, they have like different hours throughout the day for like a trolley tour, not just wineries.
Like a hiking theme or
Just,
something, yeah.
I mean, you name it, they have like a ghost tour, Christmas tour. I mean, just
Christmas house tour.
yeah, just random stuff, and they kill it. So sometimes, like I always talk to surround yourself around successful people, and you kind of generate, copy sometimes what they're doing. So maybe that's an idea, because it seems like, it's be kind of fun. But.
And I talked to Sam before about this, and so, kind of it's like, if we could just supplement one day where, the trolley's super visible, then also you kind of use that to market, right? You use that to market downtown, you use that to market the county together. And so then you're getting, then the narrative starts to change, from people just looking and picking a place. Oh, we have this thing, the trolley that goes back and forth. Oh, let me see what there is to do in town. Let me see what there is to do in the county. But then, if we can drum up Saturdays where people, we drum up Sam's business to where then he can start offering. Oh, you've talked about a Christmas light route that people call you for that all the time.
We would be booked. It would be so crazy to have a Christmas tour, because there's no really place to look at Christmas lights. It's like we always had to go out of town or different locations, but it would draw in so much crazy business if there was a place for a Christmas theme that people could jump on the trolley and go through and then jump off, another group jumps on and goes through, and I mean, it would just be beneficial for the whole town.
So, is there some way we can jumpstart it as the tourism commission to get something Saturday that is reliable, stable, and people can start to glom onto, to where you can start offering stuff like this, or we can, I don't know, I feel like this is
because you could put Santa Claus on there and have kids ride with Santa Claus. I mean, there's not, the trolley's kind of a unique thing, because there's so much different things that you can actually pitch and combine with it, and you can generate it towards kids, like the Daniel Tiger. Kids think it looks like the Daniel Tiger, or you can go around and put it in with Santa Claus and you can function it with kids or adults or both. I mean, there's endless ideas. You can go down and have ice cream. We stopped during some of the Christmas things, and we stopped down and let the kids run in and have ice cream, and there was somebody that drew, one of the kids loved it so much that they drew a trolley and Sarah's ice cream building together as a thank you, and I have it posted on my refrigerator. There's so much different things that you can connect with. You just gotta figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
just gotta start it. At one point, once you start it, it will manifest and grow into something that we probably will be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have a lot of homework, Sam.
Someone
Just-
starts-
It is a lot of homework.
I mean, it's
Start
cool to
somewhere.
see because kids get so excited about it. And during Christmas time, whenever we did look at some of the neighborhood lights and then, you know, some random people just were like, let's go to Sarah's Ice Cream and have ice cream. And then they caught on to some other groups because you posted on social media. And then like the family, it was so cool to see the families, you know, around the holiday like that. It made it feel like holidays.
Well, yeah, if you could just get us a route for Sunday, you know, work us something that we could, you know, maybe take a look at, and that would be excellent. But I'll call you and we'll talk more about it.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No marketing assistant grants?
No.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Adjourned.